Wow, what a nightmare. Hello. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the official press conference reaction. Let me just check. Everything's all good. Everything's in shape. Are we good? Are we live? I think we are live, to be fair. Yeah, welcome to the official press conference reaction for today. Obviously, Manchester United versus Spurs tomorrow. And we're going to react today to Erik Ten Hag giving us updates on Bruno Fernandes. Will he be injured? Is he out? Can he return? Obviously, we saw that picture when he was wearing the protective cast with his foot on a pillow. His wife put it on Instagram. Um, and people are making of that, saying, "Oh, maybe he's going to be out for a couple of weeks. Will he be ready now?" We don't know. It's all up in the air at the minute, and there's a couple more things he's obviously going to touch on. And he is live at 12:30, so in 7 minutes' time, we'll find out. So make sure you smash a like on the video and subscribe to the YouTube channel if you haven't already. I share it to a friend as well. Let them know that I'm live right now talking about the Ten Hag press conference. We have got a little tiny bits of topical news to get into very, very shortly. I'm just make sure you get your questions in. Make sure, yeah, you let us know your thoughts on this upcoming game between United and Spurs. It's very, very interesting. Spurs, of course, getting absolutely battered on the weekend by Newcastle, conceding 5 goals in 20 minutes, sacking their interim manager. You've got a new manager who's come in basically. Well, he's not a new manager. He's been there for time. It's Ryan Mason, and he's done the exact same job before. But it feels like every time we play a team, they've always got a new manager. There's like a new manager bounce kind of theme ongoing with United this season. Like I remember Unai Emery when he first came in at Aston Villa, we played them. Sevilla got a new manager when they did it. It's happened with like 4, 5, 6 teams this season where they just before United's game for whatever reason, they're just like, yeah, let's just bring in a new one. Hopefully we get a little bit of a manager bounce and then we'll take it from there. But yeah, interesting times. But get your comments in, smash a like on the video. Like Adam says there, quickly approaching 1,600 subscribers on YouTube at the minute. So if you haven't subscribed yet, what are you doing? Subscribe and like. I'm alive on TikTok as well. I am. Yeah, I'm live on both TikTok at the minute. And obviously, of course, the legends, as always, are tuning in. Alyssa saying, do you think we're getting Kane? I think we've got a very good chance of getting Kane. I think it all depends on Daniel Levy, to be honest with you. I think a lot of this depends on him. Is he going to drag it out? Is he going to push for the absolute maximum? Absolute maximum to achieve the price that he's setting out, the £100 million mark, which is probably going to happen. I believe, from what I've seen about Harry Kane, is that if he was to sell overseas to, let's just say, for argument's sake, Bayern Munich, then he would sell for £80 million. But if it's Manchester United, they're talking £100 million because it's a direct rival, which if you're considering Champions League, then we are. But I feel like at the minute, the way it's going, we're going like that and Spurs are going like that. Like, I think the gap next season for them will be huge. And that's obviously, especially if Harry Kane goes as well, then think how much they're going to drop off. If Spurs lose Harry Kane, I think it's going to be, depending on how they spend the money from Kane, obviously they could sell, let's say, Kane, and who knows, they might go buy another striker who's, fantastic, but you don't feel like there's a future there for him, do you? You just don't see anything. If Kane and Son leaves, their squad is so fucking average. So average, it's unbelievable. Daniel Levy reminds me of a hemorrhoid, an absolute pain in the ass. That is the best way to describe Daniel Levy. Absolutely, Adam. Daniel Levy is a hemorrhoid. Perfect. Thoughts on Mark Goldbridge? A controversial figure. He's done very well with his channel to get where he is. You can't deny that. 1.6 million subscribers is insane. I get why he's not some people's cup of tea, but I also get why he is some people's cup of tea. He's a bit like Marmite, isn't it? To be fair, some people don't rate him, some people like it. I don't mind him personally. I used to watch a lot more of him back in the day, but I don't watch him as much now. I'm more of a paddock person myself. But yeah, I don't mind either of them, to be honest. Obviously, these kind of people who are in that space, who are at the top of the mountain, a lot of the reasons why we started doing this kind of stuff was because of people like that. Do you know what I mean? Because we've seen, like, their platform that they grew, amazing, and the community that they developed as well. It's I don't mind him. I don't mind him. Brandon's in the chat saying hello to Brandon, absolute legend, a Real Red Ultra. If you want to become a Real Red Ultra, by the way, you can do that by clicking the join button next to the notification bell. We released a members video on Monday about 5 senior players we would want to sell. And if you want to check that out, then just click the join button for the price of less than a meal deal. Would you believe it? Tesco meal deals nowadays, absolute scam. £5.50. Our membership's less than that. It's about £4 a month for exclusive content, a badge next to your name, and a chance to feature on the show as well. So if you're looking for exclusive content, you know where it's at. You know where it's at. We're going to go live very shortly in a couple minutes' time for the press. I just need to do something. Just 2 seconds, TikTok gang. Every time I go live, I just think, have I shared it on socials? Let me just double check. Can you? Right, there we go. There we go. We're back. We're back. There we go. There we go. Right, yeah. Let's see if the gaffer is going live yet. The gaffer. Got so many screens here. I've got a monitor, laptop, phone, the iPad. Just a quick stat on Bruno Fernandes, by the way. If he misses the Spurs game, it'll be the first ever game that Bruno Fernandes has missed due to injury in his career. How insane is that, by the way? How insane is that? Let me just repeat that stat for anyone who didn't hear it, right? If he misses the Spurs game, it'll be the first ever game that Bruno Fernandes has missed due to injury. That is absolutely insane, by the way. It's mega. Like, talk about consistency and reliability. Bruno Fernandes is top of that list. He gives you 110% every single game, and he's available for every single game. And he's such an important player for this system. We saw in Sevilla when Bruno Fernandes wasn't in that midfield, it was so disjointed. The team didn't look like it was as cohesive. Like, he's a really important player for us, and he is the captain, despite what Harry Maguire might say. And I really, really hope he's fit for this game. I've got a feeling he's not going to be, but I hope he is, because we're going to need him. Michael sees it saying, you're no one's cup of tea. So why are you in the live, Michael? Why are you in the live? You're wasting your time, aren't you? Surely. Levy's worst nightmare happened on Sunday. Who are the 5 players you'd sell? Well, check out the membership and you'll find out. Adam saying potentially starts on the bench. Maybe. Harry saying he's just farted. Is that Maguire? Has he just received the news that he's not starting? So he's had a little bit of a pump, a little bit of a wetting. Yeah, let's wait. I literally should be going live right now. So I'm just on the app. I swear if it gets, I always feel like it's just going to get delayed. It does my head in. No, I don't want that. Go on there. MUFC live. Oh, is that what I was supposed to go on? Explore. Where's the presser? United now. What are we saying? I'm the best defender in the world. Oh, that's what someone who isn't the best defender in the world would say, wouldn't they? To be fair. Right. Wait, breaking team news at the start of our press conference. How did it start the press conference? At the start of our press conference, Erik Ten Hag was asked how the squad's looking for the trip to Spurs. There are some unavailable. He said Martinez, Varane. We have to see how Bruno Fernandes is. We don't know yet. He's a question mark. I think for the rest, we are quite okay. Asked about an image of Fernandes wearing a rehab boot in midweek, the manager responded, it's more often than not that players wear the boot, that we protect them, prevention, but it has to settle down. So we have all seen he played the full game, and it happened in the first half, but Thursday, so tomorrow is quick, but we have to see what is possible. The full story coming soon. I don't want the full story. I want the press conference. That's what I'm here to react to, the press conference, not bloody quotes. You know what I'm saying? I'm on the app and it's not on. I don't understand. Let's go to, you can always rely on Twitter for the quotes. So let's have a look on Twitter, shall we? Make sure you keep smashing a like on the channel, on the video. Right, yeah, there's some quotes coming out from it. So for whatever reason, I'll just knock that absolute nonsense off. Yeah, let's have a look. So Ten Hag on Bruno Fernandes' fitness ahead of the trip on Tottenham on Thursday. We have to see how Bruno is. We don't know yet. It's a question mark. So we've had no clarity or no answers as to if he will play or not. It's a question mark. Maybe it's a little bit of a smoke screen. Maybe he's actually in doubt and can only play half an hour depending on the swelling of the ankle, which is a little bit of a it worries me slightly because our midfield, like I was just touching on, without him in there, it's not great, is it? It's not great at all. On Spurs having to bounce back from Sunday, Ten Hag said it's obvious they had a really bad defeat and they are mad. That can be fuel for a bounce back, but it is about us. And he's spoken about Harry Kane as well, a target we've, of course, been linked with. And he's saying it's quite clear his impact on the game. We have a plan, of course. You have to defend against him as a team. He is a clever player, so don't allow him to come into situations where he can have a big impact. Nullify him, essentially. Do a little bit what Luke Shaw did. You see Luke Shaw against Brighton, where he was stepping into midfield when the Brighton striker dropped to link up play or whatever it was. Luke Shaw did a really good job on him. Was really aggressive on Welbeck or whoever it was in rotation when he was stepping into it. So I think you'll see a similar thing if Luke Shaw does start at centre back tomorrow. I'm hoping Maguire doesn't, because I felt Lindelof and Luke Shaw were both fantastic against Brighton, and they should start again. I'm not dealing with all this sentiment and Maguire's the captain and we paid this much and he's on this much. It's absolute bollocks. Start Luke Shaw and start Victor Lindelof, because they are the better centre-back pairing, and we are more likely to get a better result if they start in the game than if Maguire starts next to Lindelof. So don't give me any of that bollocks that he needs game time as the captain. I don't care. Start Luke Shaw, start Lindelof. End of discussion for me personally. It's a little bit more about Kane. Ten Hag says United have a plan to contain Kane, who's been strongly linked with the move to United in the summer. It's quite clear his impact on the game. He's a clever player, but of course we have a plan for that. Already touched on that. We have a plan for him, and in the home game we did it very well. So for tomorrow, we need a very good plan as well. He's a very clever player. Don't allow him to come into situations. Big impact. On injuries, I think I've already touched on that. He said Lissandro, Varane, Bruno is a question mark, so we know about that. Is anyone asking like actual decent questions where you can get something out of it? It's more often players. It's not so often that we have to bounce back. It happens with all great teams. Real Madrid, it's obvious they had a really bad defeat. Of course, they're mad. That can be fuel for bouncing back. So, you know what? Sometimes you come into these press conferences and just just can't. Some of the questions are so boring, and you just find yourself like, this is a fucking absolute snooze. Ask some interesting questions. Get the answer out of him, what we need. The Bruno Fernandes one is an obvious one. The Kane one is an obvious one. I get why they have to ask it. You've got to write your certain headlines. You get your checks. I understand it. Just ask some interesting questions, or I angle your question in a different way. A lot of them seem to be all nicey. They don't want to ask the tough questions. How these people are journalists are beyond me. Oh, exactly. When I do lives like this and I'm reacting, how can you react to something that you expect? You just know, like you know what's going to happen, don't you? It is a little bit annoying, to be fair. I see how many more we've got coming out from it now. How many more boring questions we've got. Neil Custis will ask something that's controversial. Always does, or slightly controversial. It's just about Harry Kane. The only quotes coming out in a minute. Harry Kane and Bruno. That's it. So I'm kind of like, why is Pogba's trending on Twitter? I'm not sure why. Let's have a look at the TikTok, the chat, what we're seeing in TikTok. It's quite quiet today on both TikTok and YouTube. Usually I do these press conference reactions. There's quite a few people in, but it's relatively quiet. Room tour, absolutely not. I'm not giving a room tour. You can see, this is all you need to see. Everything you've got here, the lights underneath, the football kits in the frame. You're laughing, mate. You're laughing. Let's have a look. I'd prefer Osman, but don't mind Kane. Yeah, there's a back and forth with that, isn't there, with them two, about the age profile, longevity, Premier League proven. There's arguments for both sides. I see both, but I really want to get Kane, to be honest. All right, there's a few more quotes coming out, so let's have a look. We've got asked about expectations. So it's not always the same. It depends on what the reason behind it is. Depending on the reason, you can tell them. It's situational leadership, I call it. You take the lead, you give the message. It depends on the occasion. The United players are resilient. They are able to do it. It's not easy, but they can do it. Now we have to make the next step to do it in games where you get a setback. You have a bad setback, but show your character and personality in the game to bounce back. Now, that is something that's much better because you're getting a dynamic there that how this season has gone in certain situations where we've received an absolute bollocking off a team, and then the next game we do go react. Like, it's very rare when we lose 2 in a row. Like, I can't remember the last time we lost 2 in a row. We always bounce back. But as Ten Hag alluded to there, it's the in-game stuff that you want. Retaliate, give yourself enough time to get a goal back. That was the thing under Ole. We'd always have bad performances under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, but we would always come back in the second. You just knew, didn't you? You knew the first half would be dreadful, and then the second half we'd come back and we'd win the game. Now it feels like there's a mental block whenever we lose a game. We just don't have that bite or resistance to bring it back. I know we have done this season, but it certainly feels like that. User 869 saying we haven't lost back-to-back games since the opening 2 of the season. Well, that's what I mean. There we go. Last time, the first 2 games, Brighton and Brentford. So there you go. That was literally fucking. How many games been now? 28 games ago it was. So it just goes to show we do bounce back, but it's just dinger. C is saying, what's the story with Bruno? Missed the update. Even Ten Hag said question mark. We have to see how it is. All that kind of stuff. Usually the protective stuff is just in case. It's not actually like the Christian Eriksen injury where we would probably be out until the end of the season. So it's precaution. There's swelling on the ankle, but he needs to see if it's inflamed tomorrow, essentially. So it's just a case of play it by eye, play it by ear, whatever you want to call it. Ten Hag is also saying we have to make sure we go front foot, be dominant, and dictate the game. Which, in fairness, we did do that in the first game, didn't we? If we cast your mind back to playing Tottenham at Old Trafford, that was probably one of our best performances this season in terms of how Ten Hag wants to play. Complete domination. They was parking in their own half, and we dominated him. It was a fantastic performance from him. So if we can repeat that again tomorrow, which I think we'll struggle to because certain personnel are missing, I think, you can't ask for more than that in a game, can you? Ten Hag saying, I'm not in a position. I'm the United manager. We are in another place. I have to make sure our players are ready tomorrow against a good opponent, a good team, good players. I have to focus. They have energy. And the Tottenham game is significant. You see the table. It's quite clear. But our approach will not change. Our approach is we want to win every game. It doesn't matter who the opponent is. And there's a few quotes coming from Ryan Mason as well, which I'll touch on very shortly. Flip-flops are saying, can't wait for Garnacho to return. Well, apparently, we did a show yesterday. I'm not sure if you've seen it, Flip-flops, on YouTube. Make sure you check us out, Real Reds Talk. Subscribe to the channel. We did a show on this yesterday about Garnacho. We spoke about Garnacho, the Neymar rumours, De Gea's new contract, and a couple other bits. But Garnacho apparently is going to the Under-20s World Cup, which starts on May the 20th and ends on June the 11th, I think. So if that is the case, he's going to need a couple of weeks beforehand to train with the team. He's basically going to miss the rest of the season. So we will go without Varane, Lissandro, Donny, Garnacho, and anyone else who are missing without playing now, without seeing him till pre-season at least. They're the players that might miss. Let's have a look. Aaron Diaz saying, what will be your defence for the game against Spurs? Well, we're going to have the preview later on, about 7 o'clock, and we've actually got a Spurs fan on. So if you guys want to come over and check that out, we'll be live at 6:30. We'll be live because obviously City play Arsenal, don't they, after 7 o'clock. So we'll be live at 6:30 with a preview with a Spurs fan. So we'll be asking him all about that, and we'll be giving our predicted lineups as well. Let's have a look. Who else is in the chat? Dave saying, Aaron, I reckon Dalot, Shaw, Lindelof, Wan-Bissaka. Sam saying, I hope it's Wan-Bissaka, Lindelof, Shaw, and Dalot personally. Who will play captain? Yeah, good point. Who will be the captain? Probably De Gea, I'm guessing. Because obviously Bruno won't start. Well, we're guessing Bruno won't start. Maguire might play. I've just got a feeling Maguire's going to start. I don't want him to start, but there's just that lingering feeling. Ryan Mason's been asked about the Tottenham job and how he feels going into it. He says, I feel ready for the job. I know I'm ready. I'm absolutely ready for this interim situation we handled in well 2 years ago. Ultimately, from my point of view, I feel fine. I feel ready. You know what? You never know what to expect with manager bounces, do you? Sometimes you can just put in an absolute worldly of performance and And then sometimes you can get the Chelsea situation where Lampard comes in and there's just no manager bounce whatsoever in the first history ever. So I really don't. I think tomorrow's game is a lot more of a mystery than people think. I really do think it's. I don't know what to, because the players just might be that drained and that fed up of the Conte regime when he was there. Sometimes just letting the shackles off, like what happened. We know United fans have experienced it under Jose Mourinho. A similar thing happens under Conte, where they just bring this kind of dark cloud that nobody wants, and there's this kind of mood and aura about the place. And when Ole Gunnar Solskjaer came in, the friendly face who everybody knows, you saw like the shackles were off and people were playing with freedom. They looked happy again. And the run that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer went on, we had an unbeaten streak in like 15 games or something. So I'm not saying Spurs are going to go on and do that, but I'm just saying sometimes just a fresh face, fresh ideas, fresh coaching can just change players' perspectives and turn their performance up in slight notches and their morale as well within the team. Shagon has just sent me 2 footballs, so thank you very much for that. The boys out here, pal. Okay. Flip flops, it's only Ryan Mason. What kind of money do you expect Ten Hag to be able to spend in the summer, says Dom Close? I don't know. It depends. A lot of it depends on the ownership situation, of course, but I don't know. I think he's going to need at least 200 million, to be honest. I don't know whether we'll get that or not. If the Glazers are, if this is still ongoing with the ownership situation for the next, the next couple of months, I'd probably say 100 to 150 usually, and then depending on how well we sell, other players will be brought in. But if the Qataris come in, we sell well, we get Champions League football, then obviously the transfer kit is going to be a little bit more in it in that regard. So, yeah. Dave saying, I don't think Harry starts. Erik Ten Hag tends to keep a team if it's performing well, and I don't think it'd be wise to change. Fear is what's making me think he may, however. That's what I'm saying. I just don't feel, I can't sit here and categorically say he won't start Maguire tomorrow, because I just have a feeling he will. I do. We'd like to think we make a fair bit from offloading players, but we feel like that, don't we? Like, I remember I've had so many conversations just before a summer window saying, look, we could sell this guy for 10 mil, get him 15 million, not them wages off the thing, do that, do this, do that. But it just doesn't, with Manchester United, it never works like that. We struggle to sell players. I remember selling Pereira for 10 million and thinking, fucking hell, wow, we've actually managed to sell. Or Dan James when we first made a profit, and you're like, oh my God, finally, we've managed to sell someone. So I think it'll be probably the same this summer, unless you're going to sell players who, are at a good age profile, who you can get a bit of money for. Someone like Scott McTominay, like, he's 24, 25. Newcastle are interested. You could probably get 30 million for him, which can go towards a Sabitzer if you want to sign him on a permanent, or it can go towards another player, like 30 million towards a striker. I just think because of the wages we have at the club, it makes certain players almost impossible to sell. It really does. United Daily say, oh, sorry, I already read that out. Big up to United Daily. Dom Close, a striker is a must and a midfielder. Yeah, a striker, 100%. I don't think anyone would disagree with you on that. I've already said, like, my signings I would sign Harry. If you sign Harry Kane, Frankie de Jong, Frimpong, Jurrien Timber, and then do whatever you want with the goalkeeper situation, kind of assess that. That is what I would want personally. It's a very Dutch heavy window when I think about Frimpong, de Jong, and Timber are all Dutch, but Ten Hag knows the players. He's worked with 2 of them before, and he really likes Frimpong. So they're the guys I'd bring in personally. If he was forced to pick between Kane and Osman, well, yeah, Kane. Kane all day, to be honest. Leonard Farigia, I think it is. Do you think he's a huge jewel? Oh, Bellingham. What? Do you think he's a huge jewel? No, I don't think United and Bellingham. I don't see it at all. I really don't see it. Unfortunately, I think City or Madrid, Jude Bellingham. I think if they really want it in the financial package that's involved, I think they will get him. Pep's a massive fan. I know Gundogan's leaving at the end of the season for them, and maybe another midfielder's leaving. Well, Bernardo Silva, there's links with him and Barcelona. So I think City will get him when they leave. I think he'll be the next replacement. Imagine a midfielder, Rodri, De Bruyne, and Bellingham. Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ. Imagine that as a midfield. Unbelievable. Andy is saying, big up to Andy Pundit. Yeah, Andy Pundit, what a legend. Saying, afternoon, bro, at work with dead Wi-Fi right now, so listening to what I can. Appreciate the support as always, Andy. Thank you very much. Big shout out to Andy. Jed Rowland saying Kane with a skull emoji. I don't think he's a fan. United Daily saying us going for Bellingham would be identical to errors of the past, jumping at big names. I really like Jude Bellingham. I think he's really talented. I don't think we'd get him. I think he wants to win trophies right now. I'm not saying we can't win trophies. We've won the Carabao Cup, but Bellingham's thinking about the Champions League. He's thinking about Premier Leagues. It's, league titles and Champions League. He wants the best of the best. And I just don't think. I think we missed the boat on Bellingham when we first went in for him. We rolled out the red carpet. Fergie was there. Like, we did the full shebang to try sign him, and he still chose Dortmund. So I think he wants to play with the best players to make himself the best possible player he can be. And at the minute, it's hard to disagree with Man City. Innit? Maybe that'll change if they lose tonight. Obviously, City are playing Arsenal tonight, so it's can't wait for that game. Cannot wait. Just give us your quick predictions, people. Whoever's in the YouTube right now, whoever's in the TikTok, whilst I get a quick drink, give me your predictions for Man City versus Arsenal tonight, and I'll double check if there's any more quotes coming out from the press or just before we dive into a little bit of a Q&A. Let's have a look. Ryan Mason said United are having a good season and winning a trophy, which is important for a big club. It's tough, but we firmly believe we can get a good result. Quite clear, yeah. And then that's it. I think that's the press are done, to be honest. Let me just get a quick drink. Big boy Tango Apple. The most random drink you'll ever see in your life. Oh, I needed that. Throat's absolutely killing. This changes everything. I want you to say. Right, we've got a couple more people on YouTube. Big up to you guys. Shreyas is saying 4-1 to City. Scoreboard saying 3-1 to the Gunners. Dave saying 3-1 to City. Sam saying 4-2 to City. A lot of people going for Manchester City tonight. What we saying in the TikTok? Let's have a look. City turning them over comfortably tonight. 4-1 City. 2-1 Arsenal. Saying Jed. It's a big game tonight, isn't it? It's them type of games I wish United was involved in. I wish it was United tonight against imagine United against Arsenal tonight. Premier League title going right down to the wire. I miss them kind of games. We've had tense games this season. We've had games in the final. We've had cup games. I get it. I understand it. But we haven't had that caliber where it's like all or nothing. League titles, Champions League finals. That is the games. That is where we need to get back up to. And it starts tomorrow night against Spurs at their ground. If we go put them to the sword tomorrow, I think Champions League football is done and dusted. It is. I think we're already 6 points ahead of him. Correct me if I'm wrong. And we've got a game in hand or 2 games in hand on him. So we beat them tomorrow. Even if we get a draw tomorrow against Spurs, I think we're in the mix. We get top 4. Then you've got the FA Cup final. It's either Arsenal, Madrid, or United who are going to stop Manchester City doing the treble. That's another key thing for me. That is what we want. Surely one of us just stop him. Now, the most ideal situation, really, in my opinion, judging us, here's a question for you, actually. If City had to win one thing, they're going to win something, aren't they? So if they are going to win something, which one do you want them to win, should I say? So if you say, if they're going to win the league, then we'll win the FA Cup and they'll go out of the Champions League. What do you think? Just tell me what you think they're going to win. Because I'm a little bit scared they could do the treble this year. The way they haven't lost in 15 games, Man City. They've got 13 wins and 2 draws. Erling Haaland's reaching the 50 goal mark. Kevin De Bruyne is top in the assist charts. They are a scary, scary, scary team at the minute, and they are more than capable of beating Madrid. I know it didn't happen last season, but they are more than capable of beating them with Haaland in that side now, because he just gets goals every single game, guaranteed. So you kind of have to outscore City, which is as difficult in itself. Arsenal, I think City are going to put them to the sword. I think they are really, really talking about a nail in the coffin. I think it's going to be an absolute bow and arrow through the coffin. I think it's just going to be just straight through. I think they're going to murder Arsenal tonight. And I think that'll only give them confidence about the league. FA Cup, depending who we've got fit for it, who's going to be available, Lissandro missing is going to be a big, big miss. But if we could put Varane, Shaw, Casemiro, Bruno, Martial, Rashford, Anthony on the pitch, we've got a chance. We've always got a chance. We've beaten them already this season at Old Trafford. But FA Cup final is going to be very, very tough. One of us has got to do it. One of us have to do it. We've got to stop them doing the treble. Can't have City fans, all 5 of them, giving us absolute pelters about, oh, the treble, you've done this, we've won the treble. I can't deal with it. I don't want it. So someone please do the job. I'd rather United do it so we win the FA Cup out of it. And of course, Arsenal don't win a league because I want them to have a meltdown as well. But you can't, it's either going to be City or Arsenal who win the league, unfortunately. That's how it is. Shreya saying they win the Prem, we win the FA Cup, AC Milan, UCL. In an ideal world, yeah, I think the Italian clubs are going to get absolutely slapped in the final. I do. They're way off, in my opinion, the way off Madrid and City. Scoreboard saying their win cheats are us and nothing else. We win FA Cup, City win the league, Madrid win the Champions League. Yeah, that might be the best thing. I think that's the best situation for me personally. What do people think in TikTok? We win the FA Cup, City win the league, Madrid to win the Champions League. Is that the best scenario we can potentially get out of this? I think it's interesting, isn't it? Let's have a look what people are saying. Got to scroll up a little bit. There's a lot of comments. 2-1 Arsenal, 2-1 Arsenal, people are saying. Would you take Alexis McAllister from Brighton? I think it's a fantastic player, but for the price range, I'd rather get De Jong. But I know that's a difficult deal to do, so maybe United will move their attention to another player. Madrid will stop them, says Jed. Scouse LFC 84 says if City get past Madrid, they will win the treble, I think. Yeah, it does feel like that this year, doesn't it? Shreyas is saying, if you're new to the channel, please do subscribe. Thank you very much for that. Make sure you smash a like on the video as well. We dropped a members video at the start of the week on 5 senior players we would sell this summer, and it's very cutthroat. That's for members only. If you want to become a member, click the join button next to the notification bell. You get exclusive content, a badge next to your name, and a chance to feature on the show as well. So if you want to become a real Red Ultra, come and join our team. We're getting a starting 11 on there, and you get exclusive rewards. And when we start releasing merch and we start doing stuff like that, you'll get first priority and discounts, etc. So it's more than worth it. It's less than a meal deal, would you believe it? A meal deal now from Tesco is £5.50. Robbing bastards. A membership's about £4 a month. So please do consider it. It supports the channel. It helps us get big guests on, and it helps us develop a community as well. So thank you to the legends who are already Real Red members. You know who you guys are. I really appreciate every single one of you. Andy Pundit saying, don't want them to have a UCL. No one cares when they win the league, but UCL would. That's it, innit? That's the asterisk. It's always been next to Man City with Pep. Can he win the Champions League? If they bottle it again, I want Arsenal to bottle the league, and I want City to bottle the Champions League. There's your 2 perfect scenarios. Give me that, please. Please let Madrid knock them out, and please let Arsenal absolutely bottle the league, and I will be happy. I will sleep with content. Absolutely. Don Close saying Højlund from Atlanta looks like a player who would fit in our system. I do like him. He's a penalty box poacher as well, that Højlund, and sounds a little bit like Haaland, a little bit like a BTEC one, doesn't it, to be fair. Make sure you drop us a follow on TikTok, by the way, if you're not already, and check our YouTube out. Subscribe to the channel. For anyone who watches Stretford Paddock as well, I was on there yesterday doing the who we play. Oh yeah, Spurs preview. So if you want to go over there, if you watch Real Red content and you like Stretford Paddock, head over to there, drop a little comment in, and let us know let them know where you've come from, should I say. Sir Alex Ferguson won the league with John O'Shea and Wes Brown. Pep always had infinite resources. Enough said. Yeah. Sir Alex Ferguson won the European Cup with Aberdeen. Jose Mourinho won the Champions League with Porto. Pep Guardiola's won a Champions League with Barcelona, the greatest. Probably the greatest team the world's ever seen in Barcelona. And he's still not managed to do it with City yet, despite spending £1.2 billion, whatever it is. So you make a great point there. I keep getting asked about Goldbridge. People keep asking my thoughts on Goldbridge. Like, I've not got a problem with the question. I got asked this at the start of the stream. I don't mind him. Some people, he's a bit like Marmite. Some people don't like him. Some people, I get both sides of it. I know why people don't. I think he's done phenomenally well with the United stand to get 1.6 million subs. It's unreal. It is a lot of people obviously tune into him and take his word as gospel. But I tend to watch more Stretford Paddock now. I do. I used to watch a lot of the United stand, but I don't mind either of them. Honestly, I really don't. I like them both. No, I would say the greatest ever teams on paper was AC Milan 04, 05, 2000. Better than Pep's Barcelona team? I don't think so. In my opinion. Sir Alex Ferguson, last manager to beat Real Madrid in the major final, 1983 with Aberdeen. Insane, that, innit? Insane. Love watching Stretford Paddock talk that much crap. It's funny. Yeah, on the brew. Check it out. Who's that? I can't say that name. You got a funny name. I can't say it. But check us out. I was on there yesterday. Look, Jay, the lads over there have shown us nothing but love over in Stretford Paddock. So we can't thank them enough. They've been amazing for us. And it's funny because Goldbridge had a thing talking about Gary Neville where he was saying, "Oh, I'm feeling suppressed and they don't want us on," or whatever, blah, blah, blah. But when small communities like ours and small fan channels have reached out to them kind of guys and said, "Oh, would you platform us? Would you have a discussion with us about United?" We didn't hear anything back at all. Not even had an email back. Whereas Stretford Paddock have took us, they didn't have to at all, took us under the wing, invited us on the show, promoted us for nothing. So if you want to talk about suppression, he's doing it himself to other channels that are around. So as far as I'm concerned, I'm not bothered about that. Andy Pundit saying, "Yeah, I saw you on the match preview this morning. Been watching Paddock since full-time Devils. They're great lads. Honestly, I can't speak of them enough. They are really, really good lads. And they've been nothing but great to us as a starting up community. So, yeah, really appreciate everything they've done for us. And hopefully there'll be more link-ups. Well, there will be, I imagine. There'll be more link-ups between both channels. So, yeah. Make sure you, as always, smashing a like on the video, subscribing to the channel. I'll stay on for a couple more minutes. Liza around me's in the chat saying Stretford Paddock are cool. They're giving up upcoming guys a chance. I've seen you guys a few times on there. There's my point. That's what I mean. So, Top G saying thoughts on Stephen Howson. Again, it's another one I think. The thing is with Steve Howson, he hasn't got a filter. He just says it how it is. So you know what he don't say certain things because he might get done for it, or I mean, obviously within reason. Like he's got no filter. He says what he thinks. Sometimes it rubs people the wrong way. Sometimes people don't like it, but I think that's authentic. That's what you want. The reason why we call our channel Real Reds Talk is because it's real. It's authentic. It's actual fans who care about the club, and we're not talking nonsense just to get clicks. That's the whole aura around. That's why we created our channel, for that exact reason. Adam saying don't know what that is. Liza around me saying, "Steve, don't fuck about. He tells you the truth." Exactly. And that's what you want. You want legitness. If you're watching someone, if you're consuming content, do you want absolute bullshit splurted through the screen, people lying to you and saying certain things because they're in with certain journalists or they're in with certain players? You don't want that. You want real, authentic, like you're sat at the stadium chatting to a fan. That is how it should be every day of the week. Do you know Tranmere? I do know Tranmere, yeah. Harry Maguire scored an absolute belter against us. Do you believe we'll sign Harry Kane? Yeah. 90% sure we're going to sign him. Maldini, Kaka, Dida, Shevchenko, Nesta, Pirlo, Stam, Nesta, Cafu. Are you being serious? Yeah, they're a fantastic team, but they weren't better than Pep Guardiola's side. Not for me. Sam will be in the chat. If Sam's in the chat, he absolutely adores that AC Milan team, but I'm sure even he would agree that wasn't as good as Pep Guardiola's with Xavi, Iniesta, Messi. Come on. Do you prefer Starbucks or Dildo? I got Starbucks this morning. Vanilla latte. with cream, believe it or not. Believe it or not. Drop us a follow on TikTok if you're not already, please, guys. I'll stay on for another 5 minutes, just a bit of a Q&A or a bit of a chat. The press conference done now. I've already touched on all the quotes. Bruno's still a question mark. Will we expect a manager bounce tomorrow? We just got to be focused, get the job done, and top 4 is done. Good for different reasons. I know you have a nostalgic kind of tie to him, Sam, but in terms of both teams, how they play, Barcelona, everybody knows that Barcelona team under Pep is considered as one of the greatest teams ever. The AC Milan team, in terms of individuals, can go toe-to-toe, head-to-head with anyone. But as a team, how they play, Barca were better, in my opinion. Shreyas is saying India 2023 best team of all time. They've got some catching up to do then, haven't they? Have you just signed 11 world-class Indian players just been born? Like, boom, let's go. United need to sell 70% of the first team. Our squad not good enough. Pains to say it. Yeah, if you're going to be cutthroat. Like I said, we did a video on the membership for members only about 5 senior players. We need to. Some of them are controversial. Like it's got to be cutthroat with it. That's how it's got to be. Liverpool had no right to come back and best that AC Milan team from 3-0 down though. They didn't. And Gerrard, in fairness to him, even though they bottled the league, he did really well in that game. It's probably like one of the best captain performances you'll ever see, as much as it pains me to say. It was awful. It was an awful team. It really was. What's going on? I don't know what's going on with my lighting. My face is like really bright. I don't like that. Got any other updates? Just in case I missed any quotes. Let's have a look. Give it all away. Give it all away. Yeah, I think that's it then, guys. Pretty much from everything I've seen. I think I've read out most quotes. Top G saying Vidic or Rio Ferdinand is the best centre-back United's ever had, in my opinion. I think. I liked you live for the answer, bro. I'm fair. I'm fair. If anything, I'm very fair. But I know people who have United channels are very biased and they won't call a spade. But if I get asked a serious question about another club, I will always give my honest answer. Always. Jed saying you a wrestling fan. I never used to. Well, I loved it when I was a kid. I stopped watching it, and now just recently started watching it again. I watched Monday Night Raw last night. Yeah, I've started watching it again. Like AEW, I got really back into it. AEW, WWE, literally all of it. Bit of an obsession at the minute, to be honest. No, it's got to be Stan was the best. Stan was fantastic, but I'm sure you can appreciate. I was born in '95, so I couldn't really appreciate Stan as much. I've obviously gone back and watched clips, but Ferdinand for me, as it was just as I was growing up. Do you know what I mean? Like people ask about Dennis Irwin. And I say, yeah, fantastic player, both footed, could take penalties, could take free kicks, but I didn't watch him frequently enough to have a full-blown opinion, if that makes sense. So Rio, for me, is the best centre-back that's ever been at United. World title return, yeah, I was a big fan of that. Big fan. I think it looks beautiful, that new belt, to be honest. Hi, mate. Hector saying, hi, mate, I'm from Spain. Big up to yourself, Hector. I hope you're a Madrid fan, and I hope Madrid smash City in the Champions League, mate. I'm a Liverpool fan. I was raised to dislike them. They ruined my childhood. I'm 40, bro. Love it. Love to see it. Oh, right. Should we end it there? Should we end it there? Please do subscribe to YouTube, guys, if you've enjoyed this live. If you need content to listen to, watch whilst you're on commute, whilst you're in the gym, whilst you're in the shower, whatever it is you're doing in life right now in the world. I imagine a lot of people are going to be at work. Make sure you check Real Reds Talk Out on YouTube. The link is in the bio. I'm live on there right now. I do simultaneous lives on both. So yeah, TikTok gang, you know what to do. Make sure you drop us a follow on the page. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one, I suppose, guys. We'll be live for the Spurs preview from 6:30. And we've got a Spurs fan on the show. So you don't want to miss it. Come and join us. And I'll chat to you very, very shortly. You legends. See you in a bit.